In today's video, we have a $500 gaming PC featuring the RX 7600, which is kind of like a forgotten GPU. I go through the building process, explain things, and also test some games. So make sure to watch the whole video to get all the information you need about this PC. Let's go. So first up, we have this motherboard. Brand new this time around is the Asus Prime B550M-A Wi-Fi, and I got it in a bundle with the RAM. So I'd say I paid a little over $60 for this after tax. So I'll say that is worth it. And there we have it. For our CPU and AliExpress special, we have the Ryzen 5 3600. Now this is used. I'm pretty sure it's just lightly used, so I haven't had any problems with them. Usually people don't either. So I definitely recommend looking at AliExpress. Anyways, just pop back that. Then it goes in like this, because the triangles line up here. Anyways, it's just a 6-core 12-thread processor. Still looks really well, and for this budget, it is honestly perfect. A 5600 would be better, but then we would probably have to increase our budget overall, so. And now we have 32 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. This one's got RGB on it. It came with the motherboard in a bundle, so this is why I have it. Anyways, some pretty nice RAM, as we could see. And yeah, it's 3200 megahertz. I don't know what the CL timing off the top of my head is. Anyways, just gonna line up like so. Now for our storage, we have a NetTech 1 terabyte. This had a pretty good deal on eBay, so I paid under $50, which is perfect. And yeah, it's a Gen 3 SSD, but it's got decent speeds on it. So on our motherboard bag, we have to take out one of these standoffs right here. Then we take our NVMe and just line it up like this. Just plug it all the way in. Then one of the little screws. Now a little something extra is we have this Thermalright Assassin digital cooler. Now we do have to remove these AM4 brackets. All right, and now we can just put down all of the red standoffs. Then we can take these brackets and also the screws here and just line these up as well. Now I'm gonna take some thermal paste, MX4, about a pea-sized amount. Yeah, make sure to remove the plastic from here. Line this right up, screw it in evenly here. And then now we can grab our fan, clip it on like so, and then kind of just put it whatever height you like. I usually like to keep it even. And yeah, we're done with the motherboard right here. And here we have the case and power supply. Yeah, so this is a bundle from Rosewill. Basically, they have the case and the power supply built into it for under $100, sometimes even cheaper. I only put too good of a GPU into this, however, but the GPU we're gonna be using definitely is completely fine with this. Boom. This actually is a pretty decent looking case. I mean, for the price, you kind of expect like a pretty bad case, but it's got two 140mm ARGB fans in the front, and then obviously one in the rear. The only downside, however, is this little ugly sticker, which I think you can probably remove if you just unscrew the power supply. Nonetheless, the case quality and everything is pretty solid for the price. We're just gonna go ahead and open up the back here. Actually, mesh in the back ain't too bad. Then we got a whole bunch of cables. All we needed was the screw bag to now screw in our motherboard. So first thing we're gonna do is use the IO shield. Easily like this. Kind of just push it right in. Our motherboard needs 2 more standoffs here, so we're just gonna plug those in. So we have this little tool here, screw the standoffs all the way in. All right, now we can drop our motherboard and line it up. Then we take these screws right here, start screwing it in. All right, now that we got the motherboard plugged in, we'll take out all of these case cords that plug into the motherboard and just route them through. First, we got the F panel here. We'll go to the bottom right of the motherboard. Then we got the USB 3.0. This one goes through the side here. Got a USB, this goes through the middle. And then HD audio on the bottom left of the motherboard. First, HD audio. Next, USB. Then we got the F panel. Then we got our USB 3.0. Now that we got that, we can figure out our fan and RGB situation. So included with the fans, we also have another port here, which we can plug in our CPU fan RGB right here. So that gives us one port to plug into the motherboard. We also have USB from the cooler. And since we already plugged in our CPU fan, we have another one from all the fans, which I'm just gonna plug into the top. For the case fans, plug into the top here, right above the CPU. We have one 3-pin RGB port, and we have our USB. For the power, we don't need a lot here. First, we have our motherboard, which we could just slide right in here. We only need one PCIe 8 pin, which we're gonna slot as well. And then lastly, our CPU just goes in the top right of this back case. And then we can just take the rest for now and just shove it in the back of the case. All right, so first in the front, we're just plugging our 8-pin CPU. Then on the side, we have our motherboard power. This is the only one that requires any sort of force. And then as you can see, the last thing we have is a PCIe. But before we plug in the graphics card, to unscrew this bracket right here, and then pull off these middle two for our motherboard. Then push back the PCIe. And here we have the RX 7600. Now this is an 8GB graphics card, but it's definitely pretty solid for this price. Yeah, this one has RGB even. You can just line it up, and it just snaps right into place. Yeah, the last thing to do here is just plug it in. And just like that, we have a completed build. Now let's test some games. All right, so we're hopping into some Fortnite real quick. The settings we have right now are gonna be 1440p, unlimited, performance mode, and then low settings. We just wanna see what 1440p can do on an 8GB VRAM card, especially this one. Oh my. Anyways, we're getting over 200 FPS right now. I will say has dipped a little bit below that time, so 170. Okay, that's a bot or something. Yeah. All right, so yeah, pretty good FPS, I will say. Not too much to say about it besides, well, I definitely recommend this computer, and this GPU specifically can still handle Fortnite. It is performance mode, but there's no reason why you would want to play on higher settings. Now moving on to some Marvel Rivals. Right now we are running 1440p AMD FSR performance mode with that, and then just low settings. 1440p still kind of a hard game to run, especially at 1440p and you know, this budget of a computer. But yeah, 130 FPS here even, and yeah, I definitely recommend it. 125 on average, it seems not bad at 1440p. Obviously, this isn't supposed to be at 1440p, so let's test out 1080. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not really going down. So yeah, like 120 FPS. I mean, it's not the greatest for this game. I would recommend actually a better GPU. Yeah. And now we're gonna end it off with some nice Cyberpunk. We're gonna be running the high preset quality AMD FSR. And I mean, it's okay. 77 FPS on average. We're definitely gonna turn that down. Now let's try out some 1080p on the same setting, see if that makes a change. And that definitely makes a difference. We're now at 100 FPS, so that's like a 30 FPS increase just from lowering the resolution from 1440p to 1080p. Let's lower all to low settings and see how much you can really get on this game. And it's honestly not too much more, only 122 FPS. So, I mean, you could definitely play this game. I'd say over 60 FPS is plenty, especially for a single player game like Cyberpunk. So I'll take this as a W. So yeah, basically this computer ran pretty decent. Definitely runs way better at 1080p, which is very understandable considering it's an 8GB card and it's a little bit older. But 1440p can be run in certain games. It's really just dependent on how many FPS you actually want. A better CPU can help in some of these games. So if you're looking for more FPS in like a game like Fortnite or Marvel Rivals, I would definitely recommend a 5600. AliExpress right now has some good discounts, which kind of makes some of these PC parts more affordable and back to like their good prices. So you can definitely get a 5600 nowadays for like a little over 80 bucks, which I definitely recommend if you don't want to get a 3600 or you just want a better PC.